Good morning, traders. Are you guys ready to go ahead and get right back after it? Yesterday, we saw a couple of nice little runners. We'll see if we get some more. And of course, we got the special rebalance in the Qs that change things up. We will see today, do we continue to rise and climb before the CPI data that comes out tomorrow? And of course, we'll see. Can we get back into the green? Been struggling a little bit. The only way to bounce back, focus on process, execution. Let's get after it, team. Let's see if we can get into the green.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. Oh, it's Vegas lore, that phrase.
What's going on out there, traders? I'm ready to get into, of course, all the action that we got for you guys. You guys out there, smash the like button. Let's keep it going. Let's see what we can find today in the market. We got a lot to talk about, of course. Let's get to and see what I see on the charts. Let's go ahead and get my charts up here. Let's get to SPY and take a look here. SPY is just kind of hanging out, looking like it wants to come and get that up move. I talked about this yesterday with the Qs, just being and making that kind of wick low. A big thing for me, I saw kind of NVIDIA holding this bottom support line, and I talked about it. This could swing right back to the upside. So we'll look to see if this comes up today and continues going through the 430s. I know there's the rebalance, and some people hit NVIDIA because of that yesterday. But I have this feeling that we could see a little bit of an uplift before we get the CPI data coming in. And of course, this could maybe lift us right back to the resistance. And then we'll see if we can get through the resistance with that report. Of course, a light report would definitely maybe get that to the upside. Of course, if it comes in hot, that's where we got to be careful. We don't want to see inflation rising. We want to see inflation coming down, and that will definitely help the market push higher. But of course, keep in mind that if that does come in showing inflation coming down, does that mean that the Fed needs to continue to raise rates? Those are all the things that we needed to be thinking about. There's back and forth right now on the Fed about interest rates, but I think what you should be paying attention to, at least in my eyes, is not necessarily the interest rates for the next two, like if they do 50 basis points, but when will they pivot, right? Is it next year? Is it the year after that? Those are things that we need to be thinking about if we're going to see this continued run in the NASDAQ. All right, let's keep going. We can take a look at some stocks that I have. I have some swing trades on. I have, of course, XOM. Still watching this. It's bounced significantly, keeping an eye on WTI. That's what I talk about all the time. Now we're starting to hold 72 on support. And that used to be the resistance, not what we want to see today. So if I do see, let's say, crude getting above 74s, and I see XOM above 106 today, that's when we're going to go ahead and have to cut this position and take the rest of the gains. Is it going to be a gain? Yes. It'll still be like a 3% gain, but I was looking for like a 6 or 7% gain, and that's okay. That's fine. If we're only going to get what we can just because the charts don't want to go and crack, well, so be it. I think that as a trader, one thing that we need to do is not be only thinking about our planned attack, but also looking at the price action, and knowing when price action is starting to turn and go against you is so important. Today, this should go green to red. If not, I'll more than likely just take the money and run. And I think that this is very important. We'll see what happens on XOM today and some of the oil names. Of course, I also got BJ. I've been talking about this one for a while now. I wanted to get into this gap. If we can get into like kind of the 65, 66 handle today, I'll take majority of it off. I actually got in this position at 63.06. So up about 2.81%. This is looking really good there in BJ. You guys out there, smash the like out there if you guys are taking a look at some of these stocks, or you got any smaller names to take a look at. I also have Deere from 401. Nice little pattern here, looking for the move to 417 above 410s, looking really good today. Oracle, one that I took yesterday, right towards the close on Start Swing Trade. So if you don't watch Start Swing Trade, you're not going to catch these trades. So, of course, when does that start? Every single day, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. What are you guys waiting for on live trading? Get over there. Start swing trade later today, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. All right, we'll see what happens on Oracle. Can it make the lift back up through the 115s and continue to 116? This is one that I'm looking for a bigger swing. If the swing gets up there to 120s, I'd be risking only about maybe 50, 60 cents to get what? $5 on the return. I'll take that anytime. We'll see what happens there in Oracle. All right, let's keep going. Those are the swing trades for me today. I'm going to be watching different stocks today. We'll see what happens on the market today, if we get a continued lift or not. Of course, I'll be having my moo to see what we can get into. And it's been a struggle, team. Of course, I didn't take a trade yesterday, but we've been going up and down, up and down. And I think this is very important to notice. And it hasn't been all perfect, but what have we been doing? Managing the hits. And I think that's so important. In June, we were only up about at least I was only up about 1.61% for the month, right? When compared to May, when I was up 12.8. And now in July, I'm actually red for July to start it off. I took one hit. So I just got to be smart. I'm being patient. I'm not taking too many trades with this account. This is a small account. We got to push it in the right ways. And if we don't do it right, we easily blow up. And I've seen this happen too many times. And I'm not going to do it with the small account, guys. I'm going to do it the right ways. I'm going to show the right ways here on how you can grow a small account. Is that going to be in a 1 month, 1 year fashion? No. To tell you the truth, to grow small accounts, you should be thinking about this as a long-term outlook, long-term goal. Hey, I'm growing this small account. In 5-10 years, I'll reach the PDT. That, I think, is the better outlook than saying, hey, I'm going to get a PDT account with $1,000 in 3 months. I'll tell you the truth. The odds of that happening, slim to none, maybe. So let's just be honest with you guys. Let's focus on our trading. Let's focus on base hits, because that's what we're here for. All right, let's get out of that talk. Let's go to stocks, of course. And, of course, we got Ryan joining in here. So definitely smash the like. Ryan jumping in now. I do want to just take a quick look at this Explore tab. We'll see if this continues. Do the big names keep coming down and smaller names come up? That's one thing that I'll be looking for today. Another thing to look out for is maybe a trade on WBD. Why am I going to be looking at WBD? I talked about this on pre-market prep, but I'll give you guys a little bit of extra here. If you guys didn't catch it on pre-market prep, I love my live trading family too. So one thing that I'm looking at this is the reason why is because they actually made the movie for Barbie, Warner Brothers production studio. Mattel has already ran on this news, of course. They're kind of running it. But I could see us maybe taking out 13 today, going towards this 1380s, back towards the resistance to 14. We'll see what happens there in WBD today. Kicking it to my man Ryan. We'll take a look at some stocks. And, of course, if you guys got some smaller names, throw them up. Now's your shot, guys, to get them covered by my man Ryan Faluna. What's going on, Ryan? How we doing?
What's going on? Sorry, I'm a bit late. Had to handle some administrative stuff prior to starting, but I did join in at the tail end of what you were saying, Mitch. I kind of want to just add to that real quick. I'm in a position where I have to speak to pro customers on a regular basis, and a lot of them want to know. Here, sorry, let me share this tab instead. A lot of them want to know. I get a question that's all the time. That's Ryan. How can I get $1 million in my trading account? And you know what I tell them? Start with 3 million. That's the easiest way to get to $1 million. Start with 3 million, because you're going to lose. So when you talk about growing a small account from something like $500 to PDT, the only way that you're going to be able to do that is by going slow and steady. It's an extreme rarity that you're going to be able to put $500, your entire account, into something and have that multiply 5 or 10x and then do it again. This is just, this is not a reasonable way to get rich quick. This job, if you will, trading, has foiled a lot of people that are about the get rich quick lifetime or lifestyle. And unfortunately, it's rewarded a very small cohort of people that are after that. So everyone thinks that they can do it. This is just not correct. You have to be tactical, you have to be smart, and you have to have a repeatable process. That is the way to grow your account to whatever your goals may be. Okay.
Definitely. And I would say to those traders out there that are really trying to get to the PDT, because I've been at that spot too. And I think that one thing that I did that started getting me a lot closer to the PDT than actually trying to trade to that level was just saving, or maybe having an extra income so that I could get to that PDT, right? If that's what my goal is, find the way, not necessarily trade the way up there, right, Ryan? I think that this is important outlook. Sometimes you got to make sacrifices, right? Sometimes that sacrifice might be having a second job so that you can get that account that you want, so that you can trade like you want, right? I think this is so important. A lot of traders, what they're trying to do it with the account that they already have versus building up an account that can give them the cushion and the sizing that they need to really make some money in the market. We'll see what happens out there. Let's get to the action. Let's take a look at the SPY. What are you seeing, Ryan?
All right. Well, we're still kind of right in the range, right? We're trading sideways here. For me, I'm obviously in the bearish camp still, so I'd want to see a breakdown to some of these moving average levels. 444 seems to be our upside resistance, especially recently. We've actually tested this several times and been unable to break it. So as far as the SPY goes, still kind of a trade sideways day. I know we're expecting some economic data points later this week that might drive it. Today, though, just kind of be wary of where we're at. I don't really have any news or anything on the broader market or anything like that. Just kind of keep it in mind. Yesterday was an extremely low volume day. We're definitely in the summer doldrums, so just don't go oversized on too many things. We have some pretty big macro events that are liable to drive this market later this week. However, given that, we are not short with a number of different things here to play. First on the list is going to be GDTC. Now, this stock was in a 3-handle yesterday. It popped as high as 10 and change earlier today. We've come back in a little bit. We're kind of leaking here, so we definitely want to wait for this to firm up and set up. Now, as far as the news goes, there's a little bit of disagreement here. Yesterday in the morning, or not yesterday, excuse me, last week on Thursday, we got this PR here about an A-Star spinoff, and we really didn't have a whole lot of reaction until today. So a number of traders that I talk to and that I poke around with saying that this is just kind of a Singapore pump job. We'll see if this ends up being like that. Now, this is a patent on the car T-cell. So that actually plays into another stock here that is similarly related, and that's going to be TCBP. Okay, so this one, I don't know if you folks remember, I took a little bit of this a couple weeks ago. I think my price is like 80 cents. So I'm actually down pretty healthily on this, which is not surprising considering it's a penny stock. However, this is a low float penny stock and it's related to GDTC, which is having a monster day. So this might also trade in sympathy. We'll just have to wait and see. I'm already long this. I'm already underwater on this. So if I get profitable, I'm going to get out today. That would be great. Even if I get near profit, if it doesn't look like it's going to break that upside target or go into profit, I'll probably close it to minimize the loss that I have. Not really terribly concerned with this. Again, this is a penny stock. I have a fairly small position. Next on the list here is going to be TAOP. We are popping here a little bit in the pre-market. Just got over $1. Hang on a sec. Let me adjust some of my stuff here. We are popping over $1. I didn't see any news on this. Here we go. Just came out. That's why I didn't see it. Tapping contract revenue value surged 95% year over year. We'll see if this provides us a trade here. Looks like we got this penny stock over $1. Next on the list is going to be BTTX, and this is Better Therapeutics. You folks are all familiar with this because I know we've traded this off of the relative volume scanner prior. We do have a catalyst here. Better Therapeutic shares are trading higher after the FDA approved the company's Asperflex prescription-only digital therapeutic treatment to provide cognitive behavioral therapy to adult patients with type 2 diabetes. So we're getting a diabetes PR there. Nice little pop up to about 141. We've come all the way back. Let's see if we reclaim VWAP and move. Cleo likes that. Next one here is going to be CING. This is Singulate. We popped as high as 170. Again, catalyst here. Singulate shares are trading higher after the company announced top-line results from its phase 3 adult efficacy and safety trial for ADHD. So another biotech here. Again, we are a little extended away from the VWAP. Really want these to firm up and show us a curl before we try to take some long side trades on it, but an impressive range nonetheless. Next one here is going to be Dragonfly Energy. This is DFLI. I saw Carmen mentioning this, I believe, earlier in the chat here. Dragonfly Energy shares are trading higher after the company announced it partnered with Nucamp, a teardrop manufacturer, to provide lithium power systems. So you can see we actually spiked as high as 217 here. Come back to about 179, really not that far from the VWAP. This one might go out of the open here. We'll see. I'm going to try to be tactical. I know I got bailed out of my trade yesterday, but I really feel like I entered that a little too early. I'm going to try to be a little bit more patient and go after things with higher percentage and make my entry a little bit better. That was the takeaway that I had from yesterday. A couple more worth mentioning here. ABOS, this is a pharmaceutical company. This popped. I can't remember if this one had news as well. I didn't see anything here. XPEV, we've talked a lot about some of the electric car makers recently, and NIO, Lee, XPEV having another decent day here today, popping to highs. Didn't see any news here. Goldman Sachs initiates coverage on XPeng with a buy rating. So that's looking pretty good. We'll see where XPeng finishes today. Someone else had mentioned CRM in here, right? Was it Jay? How big is Apple CRM? Up 11%, and market cap move is less than Apple, which is up 80 cents. So Jay, you're wondering how CRM is up this much, where Apple is only up fractionally of that. Don't have an answer for you. Was there any news that we had? Yeah, hearing Salesforce, this is a rumor, by the way, hearing Salesforce new list pricing for Salesforce product in August. Salesforce will begin increasing list prices an average of 9% across cloud, service cloud, marketing cloud, industries, and Tableau. So looks like we're getting a price increase on CRM. That's what's driving this price action here. This might be one for you options traders out there. I don't know. I generally don't trade CRM. Not great with it. So we'll see how CRM actually trades here today. Robinhood getting a little bit of a pop here in the pre-market. I don't think I saw any news on that. Nope. And then our guy from yesterday, GooG, right? GooG really kind of flagged the rest of the day. Was up a little bit in the pre-market today, but let's see if this catches and then makes a move for yesterday's intraday high. That would be the plan here. Just again with those electric cars, NIO up, Lucid up, SoFi up, UNG and Boyle up because of the move in nat gas, and then also Palantir right above 1650. This is a little bit stronger here today. This is the formation that I'd be looking for, right? If it can get over 1714, maybe it can go a little bit higher. But if it gets rejected again, I'd look for this to pull back. Okay, that does it for me. We are like 3 minutes until the market opens. Let's see, I'm getting blown up here. Is there any other stocks that you folks want to take a look at? I probably missed a couple here. Because what's the banners market? Okay. Crow, you have BTAI on watch. Let's take a look at that chart, and you're still in MOB. So that's good to know. Let's take a look at that BTAI. You can see it was weak yesterday, traded all the way back to about break even. We're kind of holding that level here today. I think Crow, one of the things that you're thinking is that if this can kind of continue to curl and maybe move through what 1025, 1026, maybe we can move back up to that 11 handle. Can see that happening. I think a lot of it's going to be about volume on that one, to be honest. And then the other thing, we would take a look at MOB. This was from yesterday. We talked about how MOB really likes to pop and drop. So as far as I don't have any position in this, but as far as a trade goes, I would say that if this thing breaks 270, it's likely to continue to come back in. This is what we've seen before from this stock, so it's reasonable to assume that we've seen it again, or that we'll see it again. A couple of people asking about Penn Entertainment. This is a gambling one. Mitch generally has a better handle on the gambling stocks. I actually really like Penn. Penn having a nice little move here today, really kind of beaten down, right? It seems like it's settling in here. Maybe we can get a run going. Is there any news on Penn here this morning? No, I don't see anything. I don't see anything here this morning. So Penn just looking like it's having a good pre-market. I noticed that a lot of the casinos were up yesterday. A lot of the ones with China exposure, like Wynn, Las Vegas Sands, and Melco. I think that probably has to do with what's going on in China with the economic situation. But we'll see if that actually bleeds into some more of these. Buglog saying, Ryan, Zunaid did a great interview with the CEO of DFLI about a week ago. I opened a long position because of that interview, and my average cost is 138. Okay, well, that's awesome. You're up nicely on that. Congratulations. Be sure the next time you see Zunaid, tell tell him that. I will go ahead and tell him, but that's really good feedback to hear. Glad to see that that is working. Crow saying, Ryan, there's a technical break on the weekly chart on Penn. Okay, let's go ahead and check that out. I actually didn't pull up the weekly chart. Really appreciate that, though. Here you go. So if we zoom in here, one of the things that you're seeing is the a technical break. So I think what you're looking at is probably this, right? Looking at the tops of these candles, looks like we had a move above this. We'll see where we end up going. All right, market is open. Let's pay attention. Let's see what we can find here, folks. Definitely going to be watching TCBP because I'm already in it. Let me get my options scanner working here. There we go. All right, let's see where we go. Let me get my windows adjusted here. Okay. So TCBP not really moving out of the gate. BTTX getting called right out of the gate here. BTTX, nice little move up there. Again, we've seen this one trade before. BTTX spot to break here would be 126, right where we're at, I think. A little bit of size here that they're trying to take. We'll see on BTTX. WIS calling PWM. Let's take a look at PWM. I actually don't see that here on the scanner, but let's take a look here. PWM's had a monster day yesterday. So this is actually still kind of flagging here. We really would need to see this pop on volume, but that could be setting up here, WIS. GDTC curling up here. You guys are calling Beyond Meat. Take a look. Oh, Beyond Meat definitely curling off that little comeback here. We'll see if that keeps moving. BTTX still under that 126 level that we really need it to go. ABOS, this would be worth watching if this can cross through a VWAP. Looks like it bounced off that 550 level. BTTX working its way back up to that 126 spot. Volume actually looks pretty impressive on BTTX. See if we can get above this and go. Let's try a little BTTX here. Going to be a reduced position size since it's early. Nice little move through 126. Let's see if it gets going. Nope, they just yanked it back. That's one of the things that we've seen quite a bit here, right? Not necessarily looking for a huge upside break because we really haven't been getting them. Someone else calling coin. So I know Bitcoin has really been moving recently. Coinbase here. Ooh, Coinbase strong out of the gate here on Coinbase. Well, Al, let me know if you're trading Coinbase. I'd like to know how you're doing that. BTTX still kind of hovering there. It took 126 again. It's teasing. The price action here is teasing like this does want to break and go. But every time it gets to that 126 or clears it out, it immediately gets pulled back in. So there's 127 up again, pulled right back down to 126. So this might not be ready yet. Volume does look good here so far this morning.
All right. Pull back out the gates here. We'll look to see what's going on there. WBD getting the lift already. Pulled back to 1290s. Now up there to 1306. I'll look to see if it can pull back to 13 right now. It's at 1307. Looking for a 1295 with a little VWAP pullback here to maybe get long on the moo. I want to get Warner Brothers on the Moo account because that's a nice smaller name that we can take a shot on there. So can buy at like 21 shares at a time. I'm probably get like 40 shares. I'll probably just do 20 shares at a time. I'm just trying to get a pullback here towards the VWAP. VWAP right now I have 1298s. So let's see if we can get underneath 12, underneath 13 here.
BTTX still kind of waiting on that, just hovering right at that 125 level. Really no movement here. My entry, by the way, was 125.
Wall at 25s for WBD. There's 52,000 shares. So there's definitely a wall there at the 1325 spot. So we got to be careful that it doesn't get just halted up there, like won't go through it. Next layer after that is all the way up to like 1350s. So 1325 is going to be a tough spot to get through. Ooh, NVIDIA. Nice move right back to the upside there.
BTTX here, by the way, they brought in a bid at 123. If that bid snaps, I would imagine we probably trade down there. BTTX back to that 126 spot. Crow, looks like you did identify this one here pretty well. We'll see if this ends up going.
All right, taking a look.
Sorry, go ahead.
You're good. I'm taking a look at AMD also. What you got,
okay,
Ryan?
Someone mentioned AMD earlier. AAOI also being mentioned by the chat here. It looks like this is trying to go. We'll see if this ends up going. BTTX a little bit up. Nope, right back. They're back to 127. See if they can clear this and move it here on BTTX. Next spot would be 130 after this. There was 128, 129. There's 30. So let's see if we can clear 30 out here. That'd be the next move. There's 30 up. A little bit of size there. They're taking it. Took some of it there at 130. We'll see if they can take the rest of it. That would probably pop us here.
SoFi moving pretty good. Good mention, Bug.
Looks like they're refilling 30. They brought an offer down to 129 and it immediately got smoked. The offer did, that is. So definitely still some buying interest here. We'll see if they can clear that 130 out. That's definitely going to be the spot. They're whittling it again here at 130. And they took it. There we go. Let's go, BTTX. Let's get rolling here. I refilled it there at 130. A lot of stock for sale there at 130. Mitch, if you got anything, go ahead. I'm still waiting.
Yeah, I'm looking all around here. Let me get my other screen up here so that you guys can see what I'm looking at. Right now, I'm looking at Deer on the pullback there off the VWAP. It looks interesting. It's slightly below VWAP, but the only problem there is the spread, right? And so you got to be careful there with the spread, but doesn't look too bad at all. All right, let me make sure I get this set up here.
Good volume here in BTTX, especially at that 130 level. They definitely refilled it with more shares, but there's continue to hit it here. ELOX halted. Thank you, Benzinga Pro. Now that BTTX is kind of hovering above this, oh, never mind. It just went back to flat. I was going to say I was going to put a stop in right above the entry just to make it impossible for the trade to go red, but it moved back down fast. Still in here. J2K mentioning IoT. Remember, that's Samsara. I sold out of that the other day. Man, big move here, IoT. The craziest thing about IoT here, let me reset this chart for you. It looked like it was rolling over here, and then it bounced off that same 25 level and traded back up. 30 definitely on deck here for IoT if it continues its upside strength. Great call out, J2K. I'm not in this swing anymore. Kind of wish I was, or kind of wish I rebought it down here at 25. That would have been a sick buy. BTTX. So this might be more of a grinder here today. Jay calling SOS, which I'm not actually seeing on the relative volume scanner, but we'll see if that's coming up here. Ooh, SOS definitely moving here. Nice expanding volume there too. Al, you're on SMCI every day. That's up 4.5% here. So nice little move on super micro computers. This has actually had a good couple of days here. 30 points in 3 sessions so far on SMCI. Great job, Al.
You know, sometimes you're going to find stocks that most people just don't watch, yet they're really good trending stocks. So I would clearly put SMCI as part of that.
I think you're right. I think you're right, Mitch. And like I said, Al's been on top of that. This is not the first mention from Al.
Find those, man, because what you're going to do is you're going to be able to trade outside of what all that algorithmic outlook, right? And so that's what you want to be finding. You want to find stocks that keep trends. When you find stocks that keep trend, you can literally just rinse and repeat on them.
The trend is your friend in that case.
It is, and especially if they keep trend and patterns, right? So also look at the daily. Does it keep a pattern? That's very important for me. All right, guys, trying to start getting a little bit of a starter here on WBD4, of course, the Moo account. So order is out there to try to get filled at 97s here. We'll see if I get the fill. I'll show you guys that. The order's out there just sitting right now at 97s here. We'll see if we're able to get it here. And, of course, we're talking WBD, and we're going Warner Brothers. I talked about this before the market opened today. We'll look to see if it gets right back above the 13 spot. Big spot to sell through is 1327s. There's the fill there for the starter there. It can add to this position another 20 shares down here towards like 1285s and then hold to the rest. We'll see what happens here.
BTTX did go through that 130 again. It's hitting a little size here at 134. Let's see if we can pop and go a little bit higher here. With a smaller position, I definitely want it to move a little bit more, but I definitely don't want this trade to go red on me. But we'll see. They're hitting the wall at 134 here. They're taking it, and they just keep refreshing it. They keep refreshing it, but they keep hitting it. So it's definitely real, and they're buying it. Let's see if this falls here. Maybe not on the first attempt, coming off that spot a little bit here.
Order out at 1289s to add on WBD. That's just based on the rule of 3 on the 15-minute chart with yesterday's price action included. Looks good there. I am starting to see a little bit of some bidding action. There is a little bit to fill there at 93s that I think it might come to. So I'm putting my order slightly below the where I see a little bit more volume on the supply side. All right, let's take a look at some other names here.
Yeah,
what you got?
Real quick, Jay Rice is saying more rotation out of large cap tech. That's what I'm seeing too. Really, the question here for me is going to be how long does this rotation out of tech last? Is it just kind of a temporary thing? And do some of the economic prints that we get this week affect that at all? Another really nice piece of advice here. I really agree with this. Matthew's saying you do not need to keep jumping from stock to stock. And he's talking to just everyone out there trading. The goal is to track movement and trade between said movement. I average over 20% every day, and I only trade a handful of stocks. This is a really good piece of advice. You definitely don't need to overtrade. Sometimes that actually gets me too. The more I kind of just slow down and focus on things that I feel confident about, the better off I do. It sounds like Matthew's having the same experience. I think that is good advice for beginning traders.
Chinese stocks doing well right now. JD, PDD, I'm keeping an eye on that move. JD pulling back here to the 36. Looks interesting here to see if it gets the up move. We'll see what happens if it holds pullbacks here on JD.com.
BTTX right back to that 130 spot. They're trying to pull it down, but they keep bringing it back up. Dave's trying to knife catch on Carvana. All right, be careful with that one. SOS continuing.
WBD got some good volume there. It popped right back above the 13. Now pulling back here. Look to see if it pops right back above the 13s here. Looking to maybe even add to that. But I wanted to come back down and try to fill some of these bids that are towards 95s and 93s. So I'm not trying to overreact. If the stock goes just ripping to the upside right now, will I be upset? I mean, no, right? I already got a piece. But if I go and jump in too much at one price, what does that do? That stops me out at those levels that I want to add at, right? So I'm going to be smart here. I'm going to be patient. We'll see what happens there.
BTTX on its second attempt to 135 failed. We'll see if the third attempt is a little bit stronger. Sorry, Mitch.
No, you're good. Keep an eye on that, right? That's what it's all about, man. Here looking good there for me today. That's up a significant amount, and I added to that position. So a move back up through 414s today. If it gets up there to like 415s, I'm going to take some profits. BJ up also. That's doing well for me, almost to that upside action. We'll see if that can continue going. Oracle pulling back here towards the 114s. Don't want to see that get back down below the lows of the day. Would like to see that start coming towards 115. AMD with a nice little pullback to 112 here.
Still watching BTTX at 134 here. 135, definitely that spot. TCBP curling a little bit here. That might go if that gets any type of big volume flow to it.
Q's washing here, and so we'll see if they come back here, but it was a nice little wash there at 942s. Looking to see if they're going to hold here on the pullback and come right back up, or are we really going to start seeing some takedown on some of these stocks? And of course, keep your eyes on adjustments in the Qs, right? Marriott having a good move today. I've talked about lodging and how that's been doing well. Take eyes on that. Hyatt doing well. Hilton just taking off. Been talking about these lodging plays. They're just pushing strong. Maybe Airbnb gets a lift today. That's one that I'm looking at right now. Just put a hard bottom around 190, 129.50s. Let's see if it takes out the 130.50s on the upside.
Let's see if BTTX is a little bit stronger on this next attempt at 135.
AMD bouncing off that 112 level, multiple bottoms in that same level on the 1 minute. You got about 3 or 4 bottoms in the 1192s. Let's see if this just comes right back up through VWAP. This is one that I'm keeping an eye out for, AMD, to see if it's going to come back up today. Warner Brothers now towards 1305, so that's looking great here for me on that buy there on Warner Brothers. I could have added more shares, but I'm not going to be upset. I'm still in the green here, and if it keeps just going in my favor, well, let it keep pushing. Q's pulling back a significant amount. I might cut Oracle soon if it just keeps coming down here. I'm going to actually set the stop there for the swing trade here. Got to protect the swing trades, right? You guys know me. On swing trades, I don't lose much.
Gotta protect the trades, Mitch. Gotta protect the trades.
Yeah, and on swings, I don't lose much. I look to gain big on shares, not to lose big. And so that's the main thing on swings. Keep it small on the loss. Look for the winners to keep running.
Yeah, let those winners run. That's exactly what I was going to say.
100%, man. And that's where I've made the biggest kind of gains in my life is just swing trading, right? And that's why, because you do that specific thing. You cut losers and you let winners run.
Still waiting on BTTX.
Yeah, I am not a proponent of options. I actually would not say they're easy, even though I've studied them plenty of times. I'm not a fan of options. But I mean, that's what you're going to find.
There's a time and a place when you have a directional market, options can be really great. But when you're seeing some of the chop that we're seeing now, options often will get chopped up on that. 134 up here on BTTX, some pretty big size there. That'll be interesting to see if they take it. 135 still that spot.
Names doing well today. Growth names, momentum names, Unity. Nice little lift off the VWAP. That one's a miss there for me today. That's a nice little push higher. We'll see what happens on that. Coinbase holding in here. T-Doc with a nice little push higher. Shop looking strong today. Roku looking strong today. I'm looking at ARKK names. There's some names that are looking good. We'll see if those reverse, but the bigger names are the ones that are dragging right now. We'll see if those can come back on the day. Square pulling back, and then it got to 70 and then came right back. Where did PayPal? Ooh, I think PayPal won the battle. We were wondering which one was going to come first to 70, PayPal or Square. And PayPal wins, man, with that first move out the gates to 70. Square got to 70, but it got to it just a little bit later at 940 versus PayPal's move through the 70s at 933. Well, Dennis, you owe Joe and I lunch. Don't worry about it.
Uh-oh.
That was a little battle.
He had a lunch bet, huh?
There. And PayPal was off. Like Square was already leading the move, but hey, you know how it goes sometimes. All right, we'll see what else is going on out there, guys.
ADIL moving here. For you penny players, ADIL moving.
52 is going lower, guys, and that's why I haven't even taken a trade in the profit count, because it just seems like that's happening easily right now. And unless I want to go shorting some of the bigger names, that's the only way to see it right now. WBD up there to 1306. That's looking good for me. Let's see if that can continue to climb. This is looking well now. Let's see if we take out 1308. It's the big level to watch, right? 1325, 52,690 shares sitting right there.
I closed BTTX here just because I don't want the trade to go red on me. Still watching. I was watching ADIL for the penny players here. Still watching. Here, let me get the chart up so you guys can see it. Still watching that 135 spot, but I'm currently out of this as this came back in.
All right, let's see what else is going on out in the market here. SPY overall starting to come back. So I'm going to look to see what's doing well in SPY. So I see industrials up today. Of course, the area that I've been trying to kind of alert people to, but I feel like nobody pays attention to industrials.
Nightscope. Nightscope's going. Who's still in Nightscope? Bex, are you still in this Nightscope? Nice little pop here on Nightscope. KSCP.
You're looking good here. I talked about that earlier. It's the swing that I have on, so I'm a little bit biased, but look at that nice little pullback to VWAP, now going higher here. Look at the 5-minute. Nice little pullback there, now trying to go higher. Doesn't look too bad there on Deere. I like Boeing also, if it can start coming back here. It had a good day yesterday. It's pulling back here towards the support. We'll look to see if it catches a little bit here. Let's see what other moves are moving in XLI. I definitely keep your eyes on some of those stocks on the day.
GREE looking like that might try to take. We have what amounts to about a double top, about 790 area there on GREE. This looks like this is still strong here this morning. Now, GDTC, this was one from the list here. Maybe we've actually kind of found a bottom. We traded down here out of the open, kind of grinding back to its VWAP. No position here on GDTC, but this one might not be done yet. I'm still waiting on TCBP because if we get a big volume, I think that one can really move. Someone mentioned Zillow in the chat. Was this an upgrade? Zillow?
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
Zillow up big on an upgrade. So what do we have here? Zillow shares are trading higher after Piper Sandler upgraded it from neutral to overweight, raised its price target from 42 to 62. So that's what's going on in Zillow.
And that's why I'm watching right now Open Door. I have an alert set there. If it can get back above the 425s, I think Open Door can maybe make a move to like 450s today. WBD now up there to 1308. That's not looking too bad there. Of course, that's the Moo trade on the day. So if you guys want to check out Moo for yourself, go ahead and hit it. What's Moo? Of course, you guys see it on my head also, baby.
Oh,
Moo.
Mitch came swagged out today.
I came ready to get that Moo back into the right shape. So looking good there now as we go a little bit higher. We'll see if WBD can really get that Barbie move going. Let's go. Let's go. I want a new Barbie house. Who's going to get it for me? Maybe it's Warner Brothers.
We need the volume to really expand here on TCBP. SOS looking pretty good out of the halt here. I'm going to stay away from the halt stocks.
Upstart, nice little push there, a nice catch there, and I definitely think this is one to watch. It just got a little pop there. With that one popping, I keep an eye out on a firm, and there you guys see it, 1550 showing up there on a firm. Not looking too bad in these kind of growth names today. Definitely seeing ARKK names get some lift. Unity gets some lift there, so it's been like one of those days that I'm seeing some growth names push. Roku, a nice 2-day run there, so watch out. Nice little push now.
By the way, AAOI, so you guys were talking about this earlier. AAOI stopped at 924, currently at 913. Looking like this is going to have some more strength here on AAOI. So maybe we actually break the top off there. For a new trade here, I'd actually want to wait for a pullback down towards VWAP as opposed to buying the upside break.
Well, I will tell you that it looks like we had the easiest trade of life and didn't take it. The prime trade, baby. Look at that prime move. Look at that Amazon ripping here right out the gates there. Prime day out there, team. Yeah,
the Prime Day trade. I know Amazon's ripping here today, but I feel like we've tried this trade before on other Prime days, and it's not necessarily been consistent. So I guess if you're playing that overnight, book
even
those
in
games.
the open. Even in the open, that was a nice little move there. They were looking for it. AVDO going lower today.
Guys,
AI coming back a little bit.
let's dial back the attacking other chat members. Everyone does things a little bit differently. There's no reason. Our goal here is to create an inclusive community for everybody. There's no reason to attack each other. Just drop it and move on.
Yeah, and the truth is that no one needs to trade like you. That's one thing that I think I talk about and Ryan talk about all the time, right? Is that I don't need to trade like Ryan. Ryan doesn't need to trade like me. If I feel I have the right process to get into the green, that's what it's all about. Now, if you feel that there's a right and wrong way of trading, do you even know how to trade? Because the truth is, there is no right and wrong in trading. There's just process, approach, execution, and results. That's it.
There's profit and there's no profit. That's the other thing. Okay, AAOI, AAOI still watch that 924 level on AAOI. Bree still maintaining its strength here. Elox, we'll see. This really, I think, needs to reclaim the VWAP. Volume really drying up there on Elox.
All right, let's keep going, guys. Let's get the money. That's what we're here for. AI getting a little bit of a bounce there. Will the Qs bounce at all today? I'm not seeing it. Oracle getting me out there, so took a little bit of a small hit there through the 113.70s. So got out there pretty quickly. So lost about a point, a little less than a point. So I'm good with losing that on Oracle.
Oh my God.
Keeping BJ dear today.
So for those of you that are trading Carvana, big move here off that 32. So we sold off pretty much right out of the open, but this definitely has a squeeze feel to it. This definitely has a squeeze feel to it. So, I'm not in Carvana, but
this is the thing too, guys. It's not necessarily just a squeeze. It's look at the growth names. I've been mentioning it multiple times today. It's a growth, it's a risk on type of trade. How do you know that? You look at different names in that type of stock, right? It's not just Carvana making a move up today. Look at Upstart. Look how that just got a nice little push today. Look at Carvana. Look at names like that. I'd even maybe take a look to see if Beyond Meat gets the lift today. Look how Beyond Meat's up today, right? And so that just shows me, right, guys, we got to catch themes sometimes. This is a theme type of play. This is a risk on type of play. ARKK names getting the lift, momentum names, Unity getting the lift, right? Let's catch that type of move. And definitely Carvana has been on a big tear, right? It's leading the momentum, a lot of this, right? And so let's see if Affirm goes higher. Let's see if Upstart goes higher, right? Those are the names that I'd be keeping an eye out. Momentum names, let's say like an AI can maybe get a little bit of a lift today. We'll see Beyond Meat. Beyond Meat's already kind of getting a little bit of a push here. And is that really because of fundamentals? No, it's not because people are buying Beyond Meat like in the stores. It's because they know it's high short interest. And when you start seeing that push, we got to keep an eye out for it. All right, let's keep going. We'll see what else is going on out there. If some of these, Rivian, perfect example, a stock that's been pushing, has momentum, that could continue to push with the momentum, right? Momentum, we'll see it. Can it get the 25 push here and go higher? We'll find out. All these names I'd keep an eye out for. We'll see what happens. And some of these names, of course, are in the queues, and some of the smaller names, right? We've been seeing the shift go to those. But look at Zoom up today. Amazon, Gilead getting some lift, Pakar, a lot of names in the queues that you normally wouldn't see getting the lift, right? We talked about the rebalancing on pre-market prep. Seems like this is still playing an effect right now in the market here with Marriott, a lot of these stocks up today. Melly, not looking too bad on that pullback. Look to see if it goes higher. Amazon, I think, is leading that right now. Micron coming back there. That doesn't look too bad. Lululemon. There's some charts here that you guys can keep an eye out for in the queues. Just find for what is in the green today. I'm looking for things that are in the green to stay strong. Cisco's systems looks like it's coming back here. EA looking good today. CRM, I had news earlier. It's pulled back significantly. We'll look to see if this comes back on the day. Qs overall, kind of holding in here now to 365.50s. We'll look to see if it makes another downside action move. All right, what else is being called out there? Jesse said PayPal's moving because I paid my bill.
Adil, that penny stock, last time we talked about it at 33 cents, currently 42 now. So that penny stock moving here. GDTC looks like that actually did take out the VWAP here on GDTC. Take a look at that. BTTX curling back up to that 130 spot. That might not be done. Remember, 135, the spot in question there.
What about GooG? It's coming down today, baby. Got to play these on the short side too. Little poppers. XOM now starting to come back there. It did try to make a move there to 106. It couldn't do it. It's back towards 105. I'll look to see if it gets to 104s today by the end of the day. That's what I'm looking for in oil.
Just scalped GDT so fast I couldn't even call it out.
DT, my man.
GDTC, it was a small scalp. I went in with 200 shares, man. I mean,
hey.
No, yeah, I mean it's green on the screen, but it's nothing. Okay, so 9 spot here, GDTC. There's definitely some stock for sale there. Be very, very careful with this one, folks. I mean, I'm already on reduced position size. I reduced it even further to play something like this. It's basically just looking for that momentum to push on that big volume stick, and I got it. So I just got it for a couple of pennies there. Here comes 9 on GDTC. We'll see if 9 falls here. I mean, I think that this thing might get wild. Remember, 1066, your pre-market high, so still a huge range there. Dan, good to see you this morning. BTTX really holding that 125 line. We might have to look into that for re-entry here. Good to see you, Dan. Happy Tuesday.
All right, what's been talked about there? CGC up big? Oh, man, that's when you know they're coming after some names. This one's down to 56 cents. We'll see if it starts to make a move. But, yeah, it's rising. And the Qs find the bounce today. That's what I'm looking at also.
Yeah, BTTX looking pretty good.
Not much I'm seeing here, guys. I'm just trying to look for some trades. Just not much I want to jump in right now.
Yeah, don't feel great about things. Don't feel great about things. But this BTTX might not be done. I think I might have just ditched out of this a little too early. But that's okay. We can always try to play this again. Remember what I was saying. I don't want to hold through pullbacks if I don't have to. Dave hitting up plug.
The plug. Hit the plug. The plug. Different type of plug.
GDTC 920, so that thing really went there. TCBP kind of really disappointing here, breaking down out of that formation. Might not get the big move I hoped for on that one.
All right, let's see if we get this lift here coming back in the Qs to the upside, or will we get another downside action break? Right now, we're in this little, like, I would say like a bearish, you could say it's a flag or a kind of declining, I would say declining triangle right now in the Qs. You guys can see it here really quickly. Boom. We'll see if we go next lower. Really quickly,
AUR, we talked about this one yesterday. This actually looks like this might have a swing breakout setting up here if it can take out 325. So here, let me get this little drawing tool out of the way. This is kind of what I'm looking at here. We ran up against 325 twice. We look to be having the strength to do that again here today. 325 represents yesterday's intraday high. So maybe a breakout above 325, potential swing on AUR. We've seen some relative volume on this recently. I guess it doesn't really look all that impressive on the chart, but this was on our scanner. We talked about it.
Yeah, I think this has also something that I'm looking at for investments. I'm looking at LAZR for investments, and this is into the 744 handle. I really like it at 7, so it's a little bit ways from here. But in the long run, will some of these LiDAR plays get the lift? Something to watch out for.
Look at Carvana. Great job, Dave. You were trading Carvana, right? Yeah, $4 now on Carvana off that entry. Still have 700 shares. So nice trade here on Carvana for Dave.
Upstart going higher. Affirm setting up for a little bit of a move higher. We'll see if it gets to 16 today. Do keep an eye out on those squeezy type of play. Beyond Meat pulling back a little bit. Unity right back up towards the highs. It looks like one of those days where definitely some momentum plays, getting some lift today.
Yeah, Apple's still hanging out around its lows here. Goldman
Yeah, the
Sachs the
bigger
same.
boys dragging.
Yeah, no
That's what we're seeing.
question. I'm looking at the SPY here. Well, I'm looking at all three of the averages. Really, it looks like they're trying to curl, but they just don't have the strength for that yet.
Yeah, I think a lot of that is just kind of lagging nature from the bigger boys, and Nvidia trying to maybe break another low here. So the market's actually holding up pretty well for the way that the big boys are leaking here. And that's why. Why? Because they're rotating into different areas. So they're rotating into industrials, cyclicals, basic materials.
Elux.
So keep your eyes on stocks like that. Steel names. Let's take a look there. STLD is one that I'm looking at for a swing trade action here. Can that one get moving there? Look for a move back up through 110. Zach's trying to give it to me. What about some coal names? BTU. I haven't played BTU in a long time, guys. It's been a while since I played the BTU.
And it's been a while since you've screamed, "I love coal."
Right? I love coal.
Market pulling here.
All right.
See if this snaps and gives us any type of move down here.
Thing is the rotation, man. It's wicked. It's wicked. They're just finding ways to rotate.
AUR through 320. They took all that size there at 320, going for that 325 spot. Interesting.
Financial services getting the lift before their earnings. We'll see if JPM can come back. It did have an upgrade this morning. Keep your eyes on those stocks like that. Bank of America, JPM. We'll look to see if they come back. And look at WBD. Let's take a look here. I'm going to show you guys it on the Moo Life. And of course, you guys could take a look at that. There's a nice little push higher towards 1312s. Can we keep going? There's still that 1325 seller there, but starting to get into the green there on WBD, and just looking for the trend to continue climbing here on Warner Brothers Discovery. Of course, I talked about this as a sneaky play to play the Barbie movie release, and we'll look to see if it keeps climbing. Not a bad way to kind of play it here. We'll see if it holds 13 on pullbacks now. Don't want it to crack 13, and guess what, guys? I'm actually in at 1297, so guess what? Green is green, baby. We'll see what happens there.
Get green on the screen. Buglog talking about Lyft. Ryan, take a look at Lyft. The one thing I see here in Lyft is 1130 is yesterday's intraday high after that strong day. A break on Lyft, maybe we go higher. When we take a look at the daily chart, you could see we're at kind of teasing a breakout here. Buglog, I know you said you were long from a 9 handle here from a few weeks ago. Looks like you might actually get a breakout here into this gap, which would be pretty nice on Lyft.
All right, looking for stocks that are grinding higher. We'll see what happens on the day.
Yeah, Jay, I agree. Elux definitely trying here. We busted through the VWAP. It looks like it's going to try to go for this high here on Elux.
All right, guys, I'm going to lock in a little bit of some gains here in Deere. And the reason why is just so I can at least, pay myself really well on the day. Of course, I had a little small loss on the day from Oracle. So I want to pay myself there and make sure I'm in the green in the swing trade accounts. So just paid myself some there so still haven't hit it there. So let me just get filled here. Let you guys know. All right, got there 413, 17, 19's actually filled. Not too bad there on Deere from 401. So what is that? That's 12 points on this name. So not bad there on the first sell there on Deere. So not bad on Deere, selling some here. We'll see what happens there. All right.
No, I was just gonna say Elux if it can recover the VWAP, but it immediately pulled back down.
Open trying to give me that alert right now, trying to get through the 425 area here. We'll look to see if this really gets going here. I'm just keeping an eye on this because Zillow Group getting a little bit higher. Will this start to push? Not a bad one to keep an eye out for. 425 showing up there. Now Warner Brothers up there towards 13.18s on the high move there. Look to see if it keeps going and gets closer towards that 25 spot. Can we blow through that 25 spot? Is going to be a massive important spot to watch. OSTK going higher today. This is not a bad one to keep an eye out for. Ever since the mentions, it's been going higher ever since that Triple BY mention.
Elox might be trying to bounce here. Let's see if it could confirm this bounce. Might be a little early to try it if it breaks down.
All right, looking around there, swing trading SPCE, says Leon. All right, it's not too bad. Didn't they ban Barbie in Vietnam?
I don't know the answer.
I don't think that matters, man. Jesse, I'm sorry, but I don't think that matters, dude.
I don't know the answer to that. Elox, maybe we get a bit of a curl here on Elox. I've got the VWAP at 531 still, 529 in my broker, so really, really close there. Let's see if Elox can curl here. This might give us an opportunity.
Affirm lifting higher now, 1595 is looking for 16. Will it take out 16? That's looking good. So like I talked about, the growth names, the risk on type of names, right? Those are doing well right now. Affirm going higher, Unity going higher. I'd probably look for Carvana to keep the lead though, right? And so look for that to keep leading. Look for the laggards to keep following behind. Upstart having a really good day there, up to 43.56 with a push from 42. AI coming back to the upside now and just pushed above the 41s. Will this get the lift today and start pushing through the 42s? Big spot there at 42 on AI.
Elox trying to climb back up here and reclaim the VWAP. We'll see if we get an opportunity here on Elox. Ticker ELOX, if I'm not clear.
Solar pulling back today after a really strong day yesterday. Energy leading the upside move now. That's interesting to see. But XOM is not doing the same as some of these other stocks. That's why it's a little bit interesting. Oxy's ripping higher. I think that's... Does Warren got the buy program on today, Ryan?
I mean, I don't know. Warren doesn't tell me what he's doing. If he did, I would probably have a much higher percentage if Warren just informed me ahead of time of what he's doing. That would be great. What a great service that would be.
Right. Why do I feel that way? When you see Oxy make this type of move, but you're seeing XOM make this type of move, that's interesting to me. That's interesting to me. I'm not saying I know something, but hey, it's just interesting.
Elox trying one more time.
How's Chevron trading? Because that's going to be a very important outlook there. It's trading up too. So interesting there. A little mixed bag in energy today. Look at WBD, baby. We pushing. That's a moo-moo trade. You guys know about that. Smash the like out there.
Hey, did you ever get more free shares, Mitch?
Let's talk a little bit about that. We'll get to that action right now in just a second here. I do want to get my free shares, and I want to show you guys it as I get them unlocked. And then, of course, probably just going to take the profits in those names. And the big reason why I'll just take the profits is that it'll probably get me above a decent amount. It might get me into the 600 where I've been trying to get to for a while, just with some free shares. Can't go wrong with that. We'll talk about that in a second here. Let's focus on the trade outlook there. WBD getting up there to the 319s. Going to be very important levels to watch as we get towards the wall. 1325s. I've talked about that since the very beginning, how there's the wall there. Let's see what happens at that wall. Qs are not looking bueno, man. They keep going lower, and so you're seeing NVIDIA go lower. Stocks S making a rip to the upside here. SQQQs making a rip to the upside. 1970s now showing up there, and maybe that was the trade of the day, but to tell you the truth, I don't know, man. It's definitely a mixed bag out there, team, but keep your eyes on it. We're seeing the SQQQs get a little lift today.
Elox trying for its VWAP here. It reclaimed it. It's trying to go above it. We'll see here on Elox. See if we can get another push up here. Really has to break 535 at this point. 529 was VWAP.
Yeah, XPV gap to the upside, so I could see a little bit of a pullback. Doesn't mean to run the profits, Jan. It's always up to you to determine if you think that that's like your profit taking spot. But I do see the little gap to the upside, and it could fill the gap and then continue to run. Who knows, right? But that definitely is a little bit of a gap to the resistance. And if 15 was your profits, well, then, you make that call there, but it doesn't look too bad on the day. And I think these have been moving, of course, with mentions of tax credits. NIO got the lift today, but also pulling back now. And so that's one thing to keep in mind. Look at the other names, right? NIO is pulling back a little bit today. Man, I haven't even taken a trade in the prop account. And it's just because I don't see any edge for me right now.
Hey, if you don't see an edge, don't force it.
It's hard, guys, because normally I'd take a trade by now. I've just been watching WBD work for me in the other account. So, I mean, there's really no point. And Deere just continues higher. DJ looking good there. So I'm just leaving those stocks alone. Target getting the lift today a little bit. That's kind of funny. Kroger is pushing up a little bit higher. SPY's dragging too. So there's some other sectors holding it up right now. In the red, we got defensive technology and healthcare. Not something you see every day. All right, what's going on out there, team? Nah, backside short. Yeah, I could see that, Jan. I could see it closing the gap. How's it hanging, EKS? Ready for AMD? Yeah, I'm ready for AMD to come back. It can come back, but I like that if it wanted to hold that 112, it pulled back a little bit too far for me to come after it now. Can't come after it there, man. At least me. Looking for stocks that are holding up, but not seeing many, especially the bigger cap names. They're not holding up that well today. Amazon pulled back here. That might be an opportunity off the 128.27s. If you feel this is going to be able to hold the 128s, at least that's something that was good, pulled back. Now maybe catches a little bit of a bounce. We'll see what happens there on Amazon. Or is the prime already out of the market? We'll see. Amazon. All right, we got up there to 1319s on WBD, but still haven't been able to take out that 52,000 shares. We'll see what happens there. Amazon doesn't look too bad on that pullback.
Elox. All I had to do was go to the bathroom, folks, and we broke that spot. Let's go.
Elox. All right, Amazon getting a little bit of a bounce there at the 128.30s. Will it get the lift here? Doesn't look too bad. $15-minute chart looks decent here on the pullback there on Amazon. Going to look for 128.20s pullback here, 128.30s. Don't mind taking the shot off that 20s.
Bring your Amazon chart up. Hang on, Mitch.
Yeah, I got you right here, guys. Show you guys that right there. There you guys see Amazon. We'll see if it gets through that 128.50s and gets that next level towards 129. I'd like a little pullback here to 128.30s and then take the shot versus jumping in it really quickly here. Let's see if I can get a quick pullback, but it could just take off there. There's 128.55s, 128.60s. Let's see if it gets through the VWAP and just comes right back up. They didn't look bad on this outlook off a 5-minute trend line in the pre-market. Holds that trend line after it popped above it. Then looking for the move back there through 129.50s. Of course, I'd like to see the Qs reverse and come back to the VWAP if that's going to happen. Big thing is it could hold this kind of trend line. So I'm also looking to see if we really start closing back above support around the 365, right around this area, 365.50s. Let's see if it gets above that and starts closing above that. That looks like a move. It could come to VWAP. And an eye out there to see if stocks really start getting into the green here. Micron getting a nice little lift. So if you're looking for stocks that are pushing today a little bit higher, this one doesn't look too bad on Micron. It's not a bad little lift there through the 63s, holding pretty well. Take a look at this stock here. A lot of bidding action there. Doesn't look bad at all. I don't know why it's so strong, but I can tell you one thing. This could have something to do with the rebalance, and it's doing well on the day. So something that I want to keep an eye out here is Micron. All right, let's take a look back in here to the WBD trade. Micron just making a move to 63.12s. I'll look for pullbacks to 62.75s to get in on that name. But it's a tough day today. Let's go to WBD. Let's see if we can continue just climbing higher here on Warner Brothers Discovery. Would like to see this push through that 1325 wall. We're not looking too bad on the day. Amazon back up there to 128.70s, so might have missed that opportunity already, so I'm just going to let it go. Now up there to 128.80s. It's up above the VWAP there. At least I was able to talk about that. Below VWAP, now it's above VWAP. So we'll see what happens there on Amazon. Hope somebody was able to nail that. CNVA, Carvana pulling back.
Carvana coming back to its VWAP, though. There might be another opportunity on Carvana.
Off 36. I think here is an interesting level to watch.
Elox is really, this was the play. This was really the only thing I saw setting up here. So grats if anyone took Elox. Be sure to pay yourself on the way up. High spot here, 591. Yeah, Dave, that's kind of what I'm thinking too, right? Pull back to VWAP. If it settles there, maybe you can get an ad on that for more upside. Excuse me.
All right, there's already Carvana jumping. It hit 36 and it pulled back there and it came right back towards 35.92s on the 1 minute. I like this outlook now as it's starting to come back up through the 1325s. Let's see if we can test anywhere near the low 30s again, and then I'll probably take a shot here off the bottoming action. So like a 36.06 pullback, I'll take it on Carvana. AMD starting to come back there, so that doesn't look too bad if you're looking for reversals off that AMD chart. But that's just because we also see the Qs coming back a little bit.
Dave, so real quick here, Jay, Elox to 6 and out. Great job there, Jay. Great job trading that one. If you hit that, awesome stuff. Real quick, this is what I like here on Dave. Dave had initially said, let's see if we can get an ad on Carvana. Okay. We talked about Carvana coming back to the VWAP. Dave goes on to say, look at how it traded yesterday. I expect a similar move. So one of the things he's saying is that we had this nice little rip, kind of went to highs, and it came back to the VWAP. And then later in the day, Becca, weren't you calling out how the moves might happen later in the day? Well, this is exactly what happened on Carvana. Started to grind away from that VWAP. Dave, sounds to me like you're looking, based on what you said here, you're looking for a similar type of move. So if you get back down to a VWAP, that might be an ad spot there. So I kind of like that. I like how you gave that play too, as you're kind of thinking about it before you're actually doing some of that stuff. Absolutely love that. Elox here. Wow, what a move on Elox. Great job for anyone that took that.
All right, started there on Carvana for the prop. I got 3604s willing to add to this name. We'll see if it gets right back up there to 37s. All right, looking for WBD to try to continue. It went up there towards right back towards the 20s and then turned around. Right above it, 25s is a big level. All right, we're back above the 36, so that looks good there on Carvana. Just got to see this start to really start pushing towards 36.50s. All right, now we're back above 36. Let's see if this can really start holding pullbacks to 36 here. There's one more attempt towards that bottom action here. We'll see if it wipes out to the VWAP or does it come right back up through 36.50. All right, what's going on out there, guys? Wisdom saying, my friend lives in California next to Warren Nephew. But will help no one. What a Scrooge. That's funny, man. Maybe Warren's nephew doesn't even get the help. Who knows? Let's see if Warner Brothers wants to make that push there, guys. It went to 1320s. Let's see that next step up. Does it want to keep going through and keep grinding higher? Carvana pulling back there. Didn't hold right now, so could pull back to the VWAP. We'll see what happens.
You know, I think about just this kind of, if you guys have any trades, please interrupt me. ELOC's obviously still going here. Be sure to pay yourself on the way up. The way I think about, if you have generational wealth, if you have FU money, I mean, like if I had that, I probably would not keep high levels of wealth. Maybe I shouldn't say that. I mean, my thing is I would absolutely be helping friends and family. So I know you guys are joking about Warren Buffett not helping his nephew or something of that nature. The first thing, if I became uber wealthy, the first thing that I would do is buy my mom the house of her dreams so that she can live out her golden years in absolute comfort. And that I would give me so much personal satisfaction that the dollar amount is meaningless at that point. The other thing is that even I plan on being an active participant in the market until the day that I die or close to it. And so the way I feel is that, you know, money, it's energy, right? It's meant to be spent. Mm-hmm. It's meant to help other people that you care about. And I want to put myself in a position where I'm always earning, whether it's something passive or something active like trading. And then I would absolutely try to help those around me. So just, I know people have that conversation all the time. It really gets kicked up when the Powerball ends up being like $1 billion because everyone's like, what would you do with $1 billion? And then the reality is that there are so many good people that I've come across that have helped me that I would want to pay that forward 10x. And so that's probably what I would do with my funds.
I hear you. All right, we'll see what goes on there. And like always, pay it forward. I say it all the time, right? There's a reason why I do the book club. It's to try to pay it forward. I've always, if you haven't seen that movie before, definitely check it out. It's a movie that definitely changed my life.
Which one?
Pay It Forward.
Pay It Forward. Okay.
Yeah, really good movie.
Good call out there. Becca says Ryan is too nice. Becca, there's some truth to that statement. I get the best reaction out of other human beings when I'm nice. It comes naturally to me, so that's just the way that I do it. I will say, though, that being nice all of the time, people do take advantage of you. And over the course of your life, you just have to learn how to kind of let that roll off your back. I don't have the energy for fighting, arguing, and doing harm to others, so I just don't do it. I stay away from it.
All right, nice little lift there in Carvana. Now I want to see it hold 36 on the pullbacks and really start taking off. Let's see if it really gets that move and starts to push.
Tell you, this ELOC's trade, folks. Someone called RGTI earlier, I believe. That's Rigetti. Rigetti, here, let me put my stream up here. Rigetti pushing to the highs. Yeah, look at this. This pushing to the highs here. We were up a little bit in the pre-market, dipped below VWAP, reclaimed VWAP, kind of traded back towards VWAP a few times, but here we are pushing highs. So good stuff.
All right, big push here. I'm trying to get it to 36.50s, but it hit 36.42, started to slow down a little bit here. Nice little push there. Boom, just sold majority of it there in Carvana. Nice little lift there from 36.04, selling some at 36.43. Now I'm going to look for it to push there to 37s. Let's see if it really wants to make this move. I still got about 150 shares. Had about 350 there, so sold about 200 there. Not looking too bad. Nice little push here in Carvana.
Real quick here, a question from Judge, and this kind of goes back to our very brief discussion about options and them being dangerous. Judge is saying here, I bought 300 shares of ESPR at 141, and then I bought 3 ESPR July 21 $3 calls at 5 cents on June 15th. The stock is now at 163. How can I get out of the options to take profit on the shares? Okay, so first of all, one of the problems with buying really cheap options like that 5 cent one is that the likelihood that option gets into the money is so extremely small that the premium is priced that way. Now I'm looking at this trade here based on the expiry. You've got the expiry is July 21. So you have 10 days for this stock to double. Probably a low percent chance. There might not be a bidder for those options. Now, what you're alluding to is you want to sell your covered calls, right? So the stock's going to have to move a lot more for you to be able to get out of those calls, whether you try to sell them or whatever. If there's no bidder for it, you're not going to be able to. And this is one of the reasons why buying far out of the money calls or puts is always risky, because chances are if that move's not going to happen, or if it doesn't look like that move's not going to happen, you're not going to get anybody to buy up your shares.
All right, looking for a little bit of a pullback here to 56 or 60s here to get in on Amazon's move, but it looks already like it wants to take off. I'll look to see if it gets there to 129s. Doesn't look too bad with the Qs coming back. We'll see if the Qs reject here and come right back down. That's where you got to be a little bit dangerous, but NVIDIA came back strong. And I was looking for NVIDIA to maybe have a strong day and catch some people by surprise. So we'll see what happens there. Still got Carvana, just letting it work, not even paying attention to it.
Tom, I missed your first comment, if there was one. Tom says, I know that I made the trade, but without you, Ryan, it would have never happened. Hey, this is why we do a community, right? I don't see everything moving. I got to rely on our community, everyone in here. So glad we were able to help out. I'm assuming that was on ELOX that you traded that, Tom. That seems to be the big trade here of the day. So congratulations, my man. Make sure that you reward yourself.
All right, just got hit out the rest of the Carvana trade there. So just made a gain at least on the day, and that's all that matters, right? So we'll see what happens there on Carvana. Does it pull back now to the VWAP and then gets the next lift? That could easily happen. That's why I wanted to be quick to the profits near the 36.50s, and it's already back down to 35.63s. So you got to be quick sometimes if you want to be in the profits. I'm in the green, even though the trade turned around, right? I think that's very important, team. Catch that. All right, we'll see what happens here in WBD. It pulled back from that 1320 area, back down to 1340s. Could take this little small gain, but it's only about like a 1.7% gain. And since I don't have the full 40 shares, it's not enough. Normally, this would be enough for me to just run towards profits right here if I had my full position size, but I only have 20 shares. I wanted to add 20 shares, never got those shares filled. I'm canceling that right now. We'll look to see what happens on the day, but just holding break even right now. Don't want it to cut 13 and just going to let it keep climbing on the day.
CRBU. I don't think I pulled this one up enough. I believe you folks were talking about this down here in a 6 handle, right? On CRBU, said it was setting up. Who was that? I know Smoke Tuna was trading this yesterday, but I didn't see Smoke Tuna here this morning. Someone was mentioning this earlier. This is going higher here, taking out 7 now. ELOX still going. AAOI, this looks like this is going to try to go to 10. BTTX really kind of broke down. That one was a little bit disappointing. Nightscope still holding up there in the 93 cent, 94 cent area. Let's go, Nightscope.
All right, seeing oil come down. I'm looking at maybe even potentially shorting XOM here.
Hey, buddy, what are you doing? Hey, you just needed some attention, huh?
Yeah. So that's all we all need, right?
I mean, I have a cat. I have a cat that literally is a dog at heart. Like all this cat wants to do is cuddle and play with the owners. It's not your typical cat that wants to go off and be by itself. And then I'm further complicating that by having a bird in an open cage in a room that he has access to, but it is what it is.
Yeah, Hendrix hasn't been letting me be alone at all. He doesn't give me a chance there. So I know what you mean. There's some good cats out in the world, man.
There are lots of them. Cats are misunderstood, if you ask me. Cats are misunderstood.
Penn doing well today also?
Penn, we got asked about Penn earlier.
What I would say about that is that it was running with the casinos, and Caesars doing well today. Wynn Resorts doing well today. LVS doing well, and it's just off the VWAP there. So that actually looking pretty decent here for a little bit of a VWAP pullback there, and LVS for a move right back above the 58s. This doesn't look too bad at all. I'm sorry, I just kept WBD there, but look at LVS here. Doesn't look too bad there. I know DraftKings was moving with that move also yesterday. Penn, MGM, let's see, maybe those moving higher. So let's see if Penn can do a little bit of catch up and get right back up there towards the up move. Caesars moving well. Wynn moving well. LVS is one that I'll look to see if it gets right back up there. The SPY can get back into the green, go back up. I think this will be a nice little move there on LVS. We'll see what happens there. Peloton in the green. That's how you know. That's when you know we're dumping onto the trash names. You know what I mean? You got Carvana. You got all these names kind of getting the uplift there. Look how quickly Carvana pulled back through the VWAP. Went to 35 with a hard candle. So just be careful out there, team. You got to be quick. Doesn't mean it can't reload. I'm with you, Dave. It could reload. But, man, that's why I didn't stick around for this type of trade, right? I would have got wiped out. Etsy doing well today. eBay doing well, just catching names that are doing well right now. So why is eBay doing well? It has nothing to do with eBay. It has everything to do with the rebalance in the queues. Look at the strength that you're getting on this eBay move. It's strong. That rebalance is playing a huge effect on stocks today. Where did you guys hear about that? Pre-market prep, of course. Dennis Dick covered it really well if you guys didn't catch that. Dave, I wasn't too early. I made the money. Nah, I'm just playing. I could have been early. But another thing on Carvana is that I don't like the daily candle now. Daily candle looks a little ugly. It could recover, though. Could always recover.
Elox really needs to take a break here, guys. We're talking a lot about this. Yeah, I mean, it's just it's on such a run at this point now. Really think that this needs to come down and take a break. Did get a price target raise from 50 to 55. Who was the Oppenheimer? Okay, wow.
NVIDIA is actually showing a little bit of strength here. I'm trying to see if it just wants to take off to the upside today. The one that's really weak, that's interesting, is AMD. That's weak. Micron strength earlier. Remember I mentioned it?
Yep.
It continues. That's an interesting one to see just have so much strength. Didn't expect to see Micron so strong today, but definitely that one holding well there. AMAT going down. Let's go to the semiconductor names. Let's see what's doing well there. And let's compare the bigger ones with the smaller ones. Bigger ones, NVIDIA back into the green. That's looking interesting. TSM pulling back there. AMD pretty weak. Intel, another strong one. Qualcomm. Just to mention and give you guys some insight. Well, Qualcomm will be at our AI event this Thursday. Don't want to miss it, you guys. The 13th, right? Don't want to miss that, guys. We will have our AI event right here on Benzinga. Qualcomm will be there. Guys, don't want to miss it. Hit the like button for all we bring you right here on Benzinga. All right, we'll see if WBD wants to take that step up or not, right? There's 1320s, and I'm just continuing the climb. This has been one that I talked about even in the pre-market. It's looking good, 1320s. It's just stair-stepping its way higher. Amazon that I talked about earlier. Look at that little move there. That looks great there. Nice little move there in Amazon. We'll look to see if it continues. But, hey, prime trade, it was right there off the 128.50s that looked really nice. I just wanted to get a 60s move pullback. Didn't get there, and now it's up there to 129s. Looks like it wants to keep going. And I also talked about it down here in the 128.20s. So this is just a move that just continues to climb higher now. Now I'd be looking for stocks to maybe reverse. Will Apple get a little bit of an uplift? Will NVIDIA take to the upside through that 427? Will Tesla take off to the upside? You see what I'm trying to catch now? We'll see what happens. Let's see if the move comes. All right, so I'm going to also be looking to see if we start getting some upside action in the stock market overall and starting to see certain stocks come right back down.
Yeah, Jay here saying a tough week for the hedgies. Squeeze everywhere on highly shorted names. This is actually one of the reasons why we cover so many of those things with high short interest. To me, the biggest squeezes, and I'd like some input from the group here. The biggest squeezes to me seem to happen on stocks that have a higher days to cover, just because it takes a while to cover up all of that. And if you get a PR or some type of news event under it, that'll drive it.
Short
Are you
interest.
playing anything for the squeezes, Jay? I can't remember. I thought your trades were fundamental based. I'm sorry, Mitch. What did I just run you over there?
No, you're fine, man. I just wish we would get better data on short side. We really need it.
So the data that we get is directly from the filings, but it's the official update period since we don't estimate.
Yeah, and the problem there is that, let's just be honest, I think that should be updated more often.
Well, I agree with you. I think the regular update period should be weekly, in my opinion, because here's the thing: if you're going to make trading decisions based off the way the stock is owned via short and institutional and insiders and all of those things, you want that update period to be as frequent as possible. I don't know what's involved in the shortage.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's put it this way: I don't know why they chose bi-monthly as the official update period. But you're right, Mitch, because the more services or products that estimate the short interest based on buying and selling, there's obviously an appetite for more frequently updated numbers.
And this keeps the retail.
I said fundamentals.
Trader.
I'm sorry, Jay. That's my mistake.
It keeps the retail trader out of the know. And I don't like that, right? I think that the retail traders should have access to just as good analytics as, let's say, institutions. And maybe it's just a way of reporting the number, right? My personal opinion is that should change on a weekly basis. That should be reported on an end of the week basis at, let's say, maybe Friday, 4 p.m.
Yeah,
reports.
I agree.
That would make complete sense for me.
I agree with that. Oh my God, Roku.
And do they have the capabilities to do so? Hell yeah. Let's just be right, Ryan. They have the capabilities of doing it.
Especially in this digitized world. Really quickly, Jay, you had mentioned Roku. Roku having a day here. Just over 10% of the float short. This is as of the end of last month. So we're actually due for an update here pretty soon. 1.3 days to cover. I'd like to see this number a little bit closer to 5. But the price action today speaks for itself, folks. I mean, this stock closed at about $67. We're up almost 8 points here today in Roku.
Cisco holding well. That looks good there for a nice little swing. If you're looking for a swing trade, that's a nice little idea I like for move back through 52s. CRM moving back up after announcing a really nice announcement this morning. It's coming back through the VWAP. We'll see what happens if Salesforce can give it the lift.
12 points in 2 days on Roku. Didn't even look at yesterday. God.
Jay Wild saying, well, how the institutions will screw retail if they have all that data?
Yeah, we'll see. That's one of the things. And that's why I like Benzinga Pro so much, Mitch. Think about it. I mean, we all know about Bloomberg terminals, right? They're $2,500 a month. What retail guy is able to do that every single month? I'm with you. I'm all for leveling the playing field for the smaller guys.
Hell yeah, that's what we do at Benzinga. That's what we do at Benzinga. We try to level the playing field, man. Why not real time? Well, that might be a little bit too much, Paul C.
CLEU.
But I agree.
CLEU pushing up to this 150 mark. There's a ton of stock for sale here. Oh, that changed ticker to Bud. Why did it do that? That's, by the way, Bud's still struggling. CLEU.
Meta holding here, 295s looks interesting here. We'll see if it pulls back or does it take the next step up. I think Meta could get to 300 today if it really starts to drive and the market drives. It's looking interesting for me there. If I do take it, I'm going to have to hold off kind of the 75 spot here on Meta.
CLEU is taking that spot at 50. I'm going to take some here. I'm going to try this. We'll see. CLEU.
To see if I get a little pullback here in Meta before I get the lift. I'm looking for like kind of that cup and handle pattern for Meta today. So I'll show you guys that pattern right there. So you see this would be that kind of cup action. It just made the resistance. Now I need the candle. If it can come to the 9 EMA or a little bit test there and then come up through 295s, it's going to be looking better. We'll see if I get that handle look on Meta. What's going on, guys? Have you guys checked out Moomoo? I definitely want to go ahead and ask the chat out there if you guys are finding any features or anything you guys have questions on Moomoo. Please throw it up in the chat right now. I definitely want to reach out to them and give them some feedback. We're going to continue giving them feedback to improve the platform. So if you guys have used the platform or checked it out in the past, please let me know some feedback in the chat right now. I'm definitely going to record this and get this over to them.
By the way, CLEU through that 150 spot. We're only up 2 cents here, but we are up. Big block that they took, big volume on CLEU. And guess what? They just refilled it and brought the price back down to 150. Smoked tuna. There he is. He, she, not actually even sure. Buglog, do you remember I mentioned Fiverr? Yes, I do. Starting to pay off. Let's go. You guys are really doing well with the swing trades. You guys are doing better than I am with the swing trades. I have a couple of them that are working, but I'd like to really ramp that up here. ELOX halted.
294 50s for Meta to try to get in. AMD now holding VWAP. That looks interesting, but it just came way too fast off that 110 for me to catch it. Apple's a big important move. I think if that could get back into the green, let's say 189s, 189.50s, and really start pushing there, yeah, we could see a push. Just got a small little fill there in Meta on the quick pullback outlook there. 294.50s was the entry. I got there 294.52s, the low there. We'll see if it can hold this, not come back to the VWAP, and then just start taking up through the 295s. I'll look to add there if it starts to push through.
We got a cracker of a second set here in the Swiatek-Svitolina match at Wimbledon, folks.
My man, watching a little tennis action.
Look, Wimbledon is one of the most pleasant memories I have as a child. My family used to go to Door County, Wisconsin for summer vacation every year, and we would do it right around July 4th. And I have really, really fond memories of playing tennis with my dad and then watching tennis at Wimbledon, which is my favorite tournament. So that just kind of stuck with me.
I would say Tesla's in a sideways consolidation period on a kind of rectangle bearish pattern here. You guys can maybe look at it as kind of a, I would say maybe a declining trend line there. You can see, like, I'll show you guys right now how my outlook on Tesla. So the hourly pattern here yesterday includes all this price action. A move back above 271.30s is that push. I'd like to see it hold now 269. So at least that's not a bad outlook to have there on Tesla. And I see a very similar pattern that I have in Meta, like kind of that cup and handle pattern. It blew through 295, so I'm not going to be able to add their team. I was looking at the other stock there, and I'm deep into the green now on Meta. That's a nice takeoff there from 294.50s and up there to almost 296. Once we break through 296, I'm going to look to take some profit off. I have about 50 shares, so I don't want to take too much too fast, as this could really push. So I'd look for the same kind of pattern to happen there in Tesla. So pullback, kind of cup and handle pattern, pullback maybe to the 9 EMA, 269.60s, and then push through 271. That's my outlook. But like always, you guys choose your own.
Real quick, ELOX is open, by the way, folks. ELOX popping to the highs here. This is going for 10. What a move here in ELOX. Really quick, Ryan Milligan, are you saying Wimbledon? No, Wimbledon with a D. Sorry if I was mispronouncing it, if it sounded like that. But no, Wimbledon, D-O-N. Sorry about that. That's a friendly match, says Jeff. The match on Sunday with Svitolina and Azarenka was war. Yeah, I actually caught a little bit of that. That was a good one. Pac West popping here to the highs. This is yesterday's intraday high, right where we're at.
order out to sell some meta at like 296.20s, and then we'll hold the rest for a bigger move. I'll look to see if I could get that pop above 296, take the profits, and then look for the majority of the move to keep running. There's a push to 1325 for Warner Brothers. Now we're looking at like that wall just got through. Let's go and see the details to see if that got filled there. And what do you see? Do you see a big order here? No huge order filling there. There was some filled here at the 24s, but that's not the 25s level. And so what do I see? I see a little bit of some spoofing action. I'm not going to say it, but that's the truth, right? There was a huge order there, and they just got pulled off there at 1325s. Let's see if it comes back into the market there. There was a lot. There was 53,000 shares. Now it just disappeared off that 25s, and we're right through that now towards the 28s. So looking really good here on Warner Brothers. Not a bad one there. Not a bad call on Warner Brothers today. What's it up overall? Up, let's see, for the day, it's up about 2.78%. Nice little push there towards 1329s. It's not a bad call there.
Yeah, that was a great call on Meta, Mitch. Nice job.
Yeah, Meta, I'm looking for that nice little break through 296 to take some more profit in this one. Let's go. Come on. Get that lift. Wouldn't want it to come back through 295s. It could come back to 294, 80s really, but I wouldn't want to see it below 295s. Of course, I'm in about 50 cents higher, 50 cents below that. Will it take that next step up? You guys smash the like out there. If you guys have been enjoying the outlook, like always, guys. And I want to give you guys here, of course, taking a look here at Warner Brothers now to 1330s. As we get to the 1340s and 1350s, I might just take it all off, or I might just keep this as a swing. To tell you the truth, I'm battling myself a little bit because I could see it getting into 1370s and maybe even to the $14 spot. So I got to be a little patient on this one. I've been patient in the past, and I have a little bit of a piece. So looking for this to keep running. Remember, I'm below 13s now. So below at any rate, I will cut out at 13. I'm just looking for it to keep climbing.
So real quick, Dave gave you the trade plan here for Carvana. Oops. Okay. Carvana came back into VWAP, actually dipped a little bit below it, but nothing crazy. And now maybe we are pushing away from VWAP. The one thing that I'm looking at here, this intraday trend, nice little trend break there, right? So let's see if Carvana can keep pushing here. Dave, great job. You've been on this all morning. This is actually a really great example of how just one trade is all you really need to make the day worth it. We talked a little bit earlier about over trading, maybe trading too many things, spreading yourself too thin by going to too many tickers. Dave doing the opposite here. Absolutely love it. That's what I said it would do, about 35, and it looks like it did it nearly to the penny. I'm going to need you to tighten this up, Dave. You were off by a couple of pennies there on a $35 stock.
Come on,
just kidding.
Bro.
Just
Come
kidding.
On,
that was a really good call, Dave. Good stuff.
NVIDIA got to the high and turned around, so just be careful out there, team. I'm also looking to see if Apple wants to get into the green. It did not go up there and give an attempt to the upside. Neither did Microsoft, so be careful, team. This could still push down here on us. Meta not being able to break out is keeping me a little bit weary here on the move. As NVIDIA starts to pull back there, got to keep an eye out on the cues here to see if we're going to get a bounce. Bounce and recover of the 366.50s is what I'm looking for here. We'll see if we recover it there. There's some lows action towards 36.38s, but if it comes back to VWAP, that's where we got to be careful because the position can turn around there on Meta pretty quickly here. So I want to see it hold 295s and then get right back up here. The cup and handle pattern already worked, so it shouldn't break the handle anymore. The handle is right where I'm at, 294.66. So from that point, I can just look for the lift through 296. It's either going to get through there or probably crack 295s and then stop me out just a little bit above my entry. We'll see what happens.
Wisdom saying here, if you're using Webull, they're having connectivity issues, one of their order management systems. So be careful and try not to get stuck in a position. I don't have Webull, so that's a really good heads up there.
Really good heads up. It's always looking out for other traders, and definitely we'll let you guys know if there's any problems going on in different brokerages that we see at least. And just keep pushing, team. What Bell needs is more of a cowbell. We got the cowbell, man. Come on, man. You know what it's all about here. We keep it going. We ain't hiding. All right. You guys know where it's at. It's sometimes always going to be a little bit of a moo, 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 moo. What you got, Ryan?
ABOS, this is a pop here. I was not fast enough to get it, but basically what we did is we popped above this high here. We're coming back in a little bit, popped above this high. Nice little candle here, some decent volume here. So ABOS moving up. No position here for me, but definitely watching this one. Maybe we come back in towards an entry.
If we get the lift right back to the upside, the Qs are dragging a little bit.
Take care of yourself, Judge.
That's trying to make the move, but you can see a little bit of a pullback. WBD 1331s, almost the high of the day. Yeah, high of the day there, and continuing to climb. Now up about 33 cents on the name. Not too bad there for a $13 stock.
That's
all right, guys. In about 5 minutes, we'll be wrapping up here and bringing you guys over to All Access. So stick around there, team. We got more for you guys, and you guys can keep trading. Don't go anywhere. Stick right in the chat. Talk about your trading action while the interview is going on. There's nothing wrong with that.
Ryan, Staff Sergeant Ryan, getting some R&R in there. Ryan, my man, Money Mitch in the group. I'm on vacation in Michigan. Good choice. But wanted to check in. No TV, limited internet, and I have a lake to myself. It sounds to me like you drew the long straw right there. Get away from those screens. Enjoy that lake. That sounds awesome, Ryan. We'll keep the seat warm for you, so when you get back, we'll be ready to roll. But you promised me you enjoy your time. I know, man. Let me tell you something, guys.
Beer,
Michigan summers are something else. If you've never experienced it, trust me, it's worth your time.
Coming by. I need to do a little tour myself in Michigan. All right, we'll see if Meta can get here through the 295.50s. Big spot here. So I'm watching this really quickly. It's either going to get that nice break through the 295.50s, or I think it comes right back through the 295s. If it does break the 295s again, I'm going to take the money and run. But if it can get through that 295.75, I think it breaks 296. Let's see what happens. It's one of those kind of like the pattern needs to keep working for me. Once the pattern turns, what do I always say? The price told me to get out, right? Not necessarily I decided it. Price decided it. See if we get that through the 295.50s. It's a big spot to watch for. Warner Brothers continues to climb, baby. Let's go. That Barbie coin going crazy says it. Yeah, coin's been strong. Look at that, 91.48. Big push there in coin today. Look at that move. Big push. Carvana, did we catch the bounce? We caught the bounce. Where's my boy? Where's my Carvana, man? In the chat. Back up to 36.26. Affirm. Remember we talked about that real quickly, really early to catch that kind of theme, Ryan? I think that's so important, right? Sometimes catching themes of the day. Look how Affirm traded today. Look how Carvana traded today. Look how these stocks like Upstart traded today. It's a very similar move. The Unity move. These are the type of moves that you want to catch there, man. And Beyond Meat, I would expect it to do the same here. We'll see if it gets that lift to 16. It's trying to squeeze a little bit higher. It doesn't look too bad here. I like it off that kind of bottoming action right now at the 1550s. And you guys know I even hate Beyond Meat. Like, I ain't gonna lie. I hate on this a little bit too much, but let's see if this gets back up through 16s today and gets that lift higher.
Real quick here, PFRX, Bex, long halt on PFRX. Good call. This is halted to the upside. Bex, are you in this? Did you nail this? This is a good one. ABOS taking off. We took a look at that one here. That moved quick. I just wasn't quick enough to get that one, Jada. But this was a real nice move. and it was right in here, taking out this 588. Oh, not in it. Okay, I thought you hit that before the halt there. My apologies. Nice spot, regardless.
Oil going higher. I got to keep a close eye on that a little bit later today. You might just have to take the profits in XOM if things don't turn around.
So, folks, I got good news. We got a little bit of bonus time here. We're actually waiting for a guest, and we're going to keep it going here.
So smash up that like out there, team. And look what the cat dragged in, as they say sometimes. Look, I got my shares there. It just popped up there, Ryan. Look what I just got. Oh, 3 shares of Grab, 3 shares of FSIL. Let's take some money and run. I want to take that money and run. I have a good day. Make up for some of the losses that I've had. Because really, do I want Grab? Not really. Do I want FSIL? Not really. So I'll probably just start getting out of these positions and taking the money. But free money, can't go wrong with free money, right? Look at how the assets already jumped up there. We're to like 587. So not looking too bad. If I have a good trade there in Warner Brothers today, we might get back to the 600. Even though I've been kind of up and down in my equity curve, I haven't really let it drop. And I think that that's very important. We'll see if we take it to the next level. Of course, this is Moo. You guys can check it out. QR code right on the screen. I'm going to put it a little bit bigger here. So if you guys want to take a look at that, definitely hit it there. We'll see what happens if we can keep climbing. Looking to see if Meta can keep the climb. It's starting to push. It got there to 295.80s. Looking for the 296 takeout. Can we do that? We'll keep an eye on it here. All right, let's go to the Explore tab here on Moo and see what best performing areas are doing well today. Social media stocks, Snap getting a little bit of a move up. Pinterest has been leading for a while. Now those are doing really well there. LiDAR concepts. Remember we talked about this earlier, Ryan? You were watching what? AUR. I talked about Luminar Technologies, LAZR. Alster making a move there, Microvision getting a lift there, and I should have maybe just stayed in QuantumScape because this keeps lifting and higher. Now up there towards 988. Definitely sold this one a little bit earlier. We'll see what happens on QuantumScape. All right, it's been a good one there. That's solid state battery, and that's why I got QuantumScape. And you see other names getting a lift there. Solid Power, Microvast, so keep your eyes on that. Even the SPACs coming back, baby. We'll see if they really do. Dillard's department stores having a good day. ARK ETF, who was talking about ARKK? Of course, I got you guys. We caught the growth names getting the lift today. We'll see if those can keep climbing. It's been a really great day there for me in Warner Brothers. Going to continue to kind of climb and see if I can get there to see if this turns into a swing on Warner Brothers. We'll see what happens there on the Moo account. And of course, I'll keep trying to climb up higher with Meta. Meta now there towards 295.75, looking for the 296 break here. And that's probably going to do it, at least for my outlook today. It's been a good one. Got a nice trade in Carvana, nice trade here in Meta, and a nice trade in Warner Brothers. 3 for 3. Flex on them, baby. That's how we do it on Benzinga. All right, what you got, Ryan? Last wrap up for the day.
A pretty decent day here. We're going to see where the market actually finishes today to determine our candle for tomorrow. We had some really good plays. We're going to be looking into them. Got some news here about Activision, Blizzard, and Microsoft, so we'll see where this ends up settling. But that's about it, my man. We're good for the day. We'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely. Like always, we'll be right here for you guys. You guys smash the like. It's always good to have you, Ryan. Thank you for joining me today. You guys definitely give him a follow. Ryan Faluna, of course, R Faluna on Twitter. Now to go ahead and bring you guys over to All Access, where we get to the stories, Meta through 296. I did my job today. Now to kick it to my man, the one, the only Michael Murray, of course. You guys have a great time. Enjoy All Access, where the stories get uncovered. Have a good one, Michael.
Mitch, thank you, brother. Appreciate it as always. Great stuff on the trading show this morning. Appreciate all the guys as always for the great job they do. We do have President and CEO of Artello Biosciences, Greg Gorgeous, in the studio with us. We're going to bring him on in just a second. We'll play the intro to All Access, and then we'll get right into it. And welcome in Greg, CEO and President of Artello Biosciences. Thank you for joining us. How are you?
Great to be here. Thank you very much, Michael.
It's a pleasure to have you. Thank you for taking time out of what I'm sure is a busy Tuesday for you. We're coming in here off the holiday season. We had July 4th last week, a lot of traders out of the office, quiet in the markets, quiet on the news front, but we're back in action here with the new week. So Greg, kick us off. Give us a brief introduction to Artello Biosciences and what you guys do at the company.
Thank you very much. Well, we're a biopharmaceutical company, and we're headquartered here in San Diego. We were founded in 2017, and it was on the promise that lipid signaling or modulating the endocannabinoid system could have a tremendous opportunity for drug development. And so now we're a team of about 30 people located around the world, actually. Much of our research staff is in the UK. Plus, we have a team here and also up in Canada.
Outstanding. And Greg, when you look at your business model as a whole, then, what do you think are some of the things that separate you guys from the field that you're in? Endocannabinoids and the industry that you're in as a whole is very frequently talked about right now. But what do you think are some of the signifiers that set Artello apart in your space? And what are some things that you would point to that should be importantly looked at from an investor's perspective?
Well, we took a slightly different approach to some folks that were looking at the rise of, let's say, CBD, for example, and its potential as a therapeutic. And we took a very traditional pharmaceutical approach. And I'm happy to report that we were the first company to receive a patent, a patent on a co-crystal version of CBD. We believe it's probably in the planet the best version of itself. We take all of the good of CBD, but none of the challenges of its structure, and we actually improve on that. And so I think what sets apart is our innovative approach and our traditional pharma approach to things like modulating the endocannabinoid system.
Terrific. Greg, talk to us a little bit about the new data that you had on ART26.12. You had positive effects in multiple models of neuropathic pain at your International Cannabinoid Research Society Symposium, which is quite a mouthful. But talk to us about the effects here and the importance that investors should be looking for when it comes to this positive data you had recently.
Well, one news story could be by chance, and a second set of data could be by coincidence. But if you have three, that's validated. We actually have 5 studies now in painful neuropathies by 3 different causes, 2 different sources of chemotherapy causing painful neuropathies, as well as diabetic neuropathy. And so to have that type of evidence as we're going to the FDA, and we have, and we do expect in this next quarter feedback from the FDA as we're nearing what is called an IND, or the ability to go in and test this drug in patients. So I think having this strong evidence that we shared at the International Cannabinoid Research Society meeting just 2 weeks ago, as well as our pathway that we're on target, on time, on budget, and planning to have this drug in the clinic if all goes well next year.
Absolutely. And Greg, give us maybe a sense of the background work that goes into things too. While you're waiting on things like the FDA feedback and as you're working on trials and drug development of this nature, what are the day-to-day important things that you need to focus on as a company to make sure that you guys are driving towards your goals? What does the background development look like? What does the team need to be focusing on? And you mentioned you have a team of about 30 people now. Where are their efforts focused as you guys continue development and working towards these goals?
Well, each of the programs that we work on have their own unique challenges. And so the team that's working on our lead asset, the one furthest along, is in the middle of a phase 2 clinical study. And so they're working very hard to work with the contract research organization to engage with physicians, to help remind them of the availability of the study, help them screen for patients to enter the study, making sure the data collection is per the specifications that are needed to advance the study and record all that information. So that team has a very specific mandate, and they're working on that. The team that's getting ready for getting that second drug that I just mentioned, the 2612, the fatty acid binding protein 5 inhibitor. I know that's a real mouthful. That team is really working on making sure all the required preclinical data is available so that the FDA can work with Artello to get that drug into the clinic. And last but not least, the team that's working on the 1211 program, that's our patented version of CBD, our co-crystal. That team is also working on how and exploring strategies on how to get that into the clinic as quickly as possible.
Outstanding. Now, this is a pretty standard approach or standard question that I ask a lot of our companies when I have the pleasure of hosting All Access. But as you look forward as a company towards the addressable market that you'll be able to offer your drugs to, and as you'll be able to offer your business approach to your industry, what does the addressable market look like for Artello specifically? How big do you think the opportunity is? And over the next 3, 5, 7 years here, how big do you guys think you'll be able to grow if everything moves in your favor and you're able to get done the things that you're focusing on?
Well, one of the unique opportunities, but really unique challenges for Artello is that we have first mover advantage with our assets. But that also means that the FDA doesn't have a roadmap or pathway for approval, defining the endpoints, for example, or what the parameters should be. So that's both a challenge and a big opportunity. What's unique to Artello is that all of our programs are going after billion-dollar opportunities. A lot of small companies, and rightfully so, and I've had a career in this, so I'm not dismissing it. It's just different from Artello. A lot of smaller companies go for orphan indications, small numbers of patients. That could be very big because of the pricing of the drug, but we're actually going after unmet needs for which there is no FDA approval. There is no FDA approval for a drug to treat anorexia associated with cancer. And yet we can all close our eyes and think of the last image we saw of Steve Jobs and the devastating journey that people go on, oftentimes, whether they go towards a cure or they go the other direction. The weight loss associated with cancer is devastating. And there's no FDA treatment for that. Chemotherapy-induced peripheral neuropathy, again, no treatment available for that. So we have that first mover advantage in billion-dollar opportunities. You asked me how big. I can't say exactly how big. No company could actually say that. But I can say that each and every one of our programs going into billion-dollar opportunities are going to make them very attractive to global pharmas that have the muscle and the power to launch those drugs and take it out into the marketplace in a very big way. So I think we're working on things that over the next 2, 3, 5 years might be partnered with large pharmaceutical companies, and then that would help the drugs be all they can be to alleviate some of this human suffering that I mentioned earlier.
Absolutely. Greg, it's also, I think, no secret to say that we have a challenging macro inflationary environment and a business environment as a whole in front of us as we look at this across industries, not just your industry, but throughout many different businesses. We're looking at a very tumultuous environment in terms of interest rates and inflation and the capital markets as a whole. How do you guys plan to navigate some of the difficult factors that are present in our economic environment when it comes to cash flow, when it comes to cash on hand, financing your development? What is your roadmap for the next couple of years as we continue to battle some of these elements?
Well, one of the things about Artello's brand is that we've kept our expenses in check. We did not overbuild prior to the pandemic. Actually, we were virtually around the world, as I mentioned earlier. And so as people got onto Zoom, and maybe some for the first time, we were already there. We were already engaging with remote access to our team. So we've been able to keep our expenses in check. And I think that's what a lot of companies are experiencing maybe for the first time. We've been having a strong track record of that. And that's led to enterprise value for us exceeding even what our cash position is. The second thing is that we are thankfully have a better cash position than many companies. We have well over a year of cash. Our cash position last reported was over 15 million. Our the maximum that we've spent in any year is 8 million. Now, even if and that's about 2 million a quarter, even if that grew to 3 million a quarter, let's say, that would still be over a year of cash. And so we have a nice cash position. But I have to admit to all investors that biotech is a high cash need business. Doing research with physicians and collecting data that would satisfy regulatory bodies is not a inexpensive proposition. But the milestones that we have and the rewards at the end, we believe are worth it, both from the human side and also from the financial investor side.
100%. Greg, as we close, anything immediate over the next couple of months, the next quarter here as we're actually entering Q3 over the last couple of weeks, anything immediate for investors to pay attention to and any big milestones on the near-term horizon that we should be looking for?
Well, I did mention, and it's in our slide deck on our telobio.com, our corporate presentation. But the next milestone is really the feedback that we have from the FDA on our what is called a pre-IND meeting, and we expect to announce that in the third quarter here, coming up real soon, and that'll give really investors a good sense of how we're heading towards the clinic. And I think that's the next major milestone that people can look for. And getting a fatty acid binding protein 5 inhibitor into the clinic will be a real milestone for the industry in lipid signaling, but also a big milestone for Artelo. And we can't wait to see what this can do for patients when we get it in there. So I think we have a lot for investors to look forward to.
Wonderful. Greg, very concise, very detailed, and great information here. Looking forward to what Artelo is working on. We appreciate you once again taking time out of a busy Tuesday here and talking to us about what you're working on. Thank you very much for being with us on All Access.
Great to be with you, Michael. Thank you.
Pleasure to have you. Greg Gorgas there, President and CEO of Artelo Biosciences, traded on the NASDAQ as ARTL. As always, we appreciate the fellas putting in all the work into the trading show before the All Access stream starts and leading us into the conversations that we're able to have with these companies, learning about their developments and what they have coming up in the future. As always, pay attention to Benzinga YouTube throughout the day. More news, more live streams, more content coming your way. And of course, Benzinga.com as well, the best place to find financial news, breaking and otherwise. And otherwise, we'll see you on All Access next time.